All right, welcome back. Now that we got some of the basics out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into my computer. And I want to show you guys the market research that you can do to set you up for success. And this is where things are going to really start to make sense for you and set you up to make some money, which is what we're all here for. Let's go. How are you going to check your earnings potential is one of the biggest things. The easy way to go about it is by going to the Airbnb website and going to check your earnings potential, which is right here. I'm using Miami, Florida in this case. If you see here, you plug in how many guests you can expect to sleep. In this case, we're going to put that we're planning to list the entire place, which you can list a room, an entire place, and you'll be able to see how much you can stand to make it per month. When you click this question mark, it's going to tell you that the potential earning is based on 50% occupancy on a standard 30-day month. At a 50% occupancy, which is 15 days out of a 30-day period, the system estimates you have a potential earnings of this amount. My personal rule of thumb when I look at this is that I want my total holding cost to be this or less. Taking this rule of thumb into consideration, it would mean that at a 50% occupancy, I would be in the black. Everything after that would be my profit. This works for me because with time, I have been able to see how accurate this number is in my prevalent area. In your case, you may find that this number is not as accurate, which is why we don't count solely on this information. Next, you're going to want to check your neighbors' prices on the Airbnb website. You're going to type in your zip code. Be sure to actually put a zip code and not the name of the city by itself for more accuracy. And you'll be able to see listings in that neighborhood. You're going to set up certain filters like you would when you're going to book a property for yourself. You can set a filter to where you only see Superhost listings, and you would only see Superhost in that neighborhood because you want to make sure that you stay with somebody who's done this for a while and has reputable hosting experience. And also you want to look at their information because it's good to learn from those types of listings and see what they're doing and also be able to see what you're going up against. This is why it matters that you should get to the Superhost status quickly, because just like that, you can no longer be an option for someone to book you. But no worries, I'm going to show you guys how to get to Superhost status as fast as possible. So add other filters that pertain to your property. If your property has a pool, you want to compare yourself with other hosts in your area who also have a pool. Include amenities your property has in the filters to see your direct competition. Once you do that market research, you'll find listings that are in your neighborhood that are similar to yours. We're going to look at one of them here. Let's choose the first one, as they should be doing pretty well or doing something right in order to be at the top of Airbnb's algorithm. You're going to want to see how much they charge for weekdays and weekends. You'll select the listing, then select a Tuesday to Wednesday stay at around a month out to get an idea of their weekday prices. So for instance, if today is the 21st, you're going to want to price or look up the price on the 21st of the following month to get a better comparison, as closer dates tend to be discounted by the host if they go unbooked. And we'll touch on this on a later video when it comes to price strategies. After that, you'll want to do the same for Friday to Saturday nightly rates, which those are your weekend nights, and do the exact same, at least 1 month out. So if you notice here, we selected Tuesday to Wednesday, and it gave us $88 per night. If we look at Friday to Saturday, it gives us $106 per night. Do this with a few listings and you'll have a better understanding of how much other hosts are charging for weekdays and weekend nights. Now, secondly, we're going to check the listing details, like their cleaning fees as well as their occupancy. You can see here this person is actually doing very well. When I screenshot their productivity, there were around 17 or 18 nights booked. But if you notice here, they're already booked for all next week. They're booked from basically the 22nd all the way to the 4th of January. They have a full week available here. So based on this information, this person is doing very well. The last thing I do when doing market research is I check nearby hotels, which is our actual real competition, and we'll get into that in a later video. You're gonna do pretty much the exact same thing, same principle as we did with the Airbnb listing, but now with hotels in the area. You're gonna wanna go to Google and plug in the zip code where you're trying to set up shop or where you plan to get your property. We're going to look for 4 or 3-star hotels. Obviously, you're not going to compare your prices against a motel because that's not going to stack up to what you're offering, unless that's really your niche. And then yes, you're gonna wanna compare it to those. But then you're gonna generate those numbers and see how that stacks up. So you get those numbers and you'll add them all up together, get the average nightly rate for the weekdays and weekends. And that way you can get a better idea of what you should be charging based on the amount of guests that you can sleep. That's it for market research. I'll see you at the top, and I'll see you in the next video.